Okay, just a quick DIY video here. I just thought of this last night while I was out here trying not to make a bunch of noise. And this is a convertible, obviously, so if you ever have to change a pan out, you need to take the doors off and solidify the rear portion of the car to the front on these heavy structures of where the door goes. Front and rear of the door jam area, I guess you'd call it. Just want to say, being a convertible, I'm grabbing it right here with this ratchet strap where I can cinch it together, squeeze it together, and then on this particular model Gia, and this is a 64, there's a pretty good beam right in there, vertical beam that I've got it wrapped around in there. So I left that a little bit loose so I can show you what I've got going here. This is what I thought of last night, because before, when I did my 58 Beetle convertible, which I got to do again here in the next day or two, because that pan right there is going under that, and the pan in that 58 is going in that 62. And while I'm thinking of it, this pan, it's a 71 with disc brakes, is going in this one here. And I'm going to go see the scrap man here pretty soon too. But anyway, so what I did here is I measured out the angles on these jambs right here, the front, right here, towards the back. What turns out is this front area here is about 2 degrees off, being straight back to the rear area. So anyway, you'd figure it out which direction that goes. But 2 degrees on this front one here, angle cut on the end of this real solid old school 2x4. This thing's old. It's real solid, dense wood. But when you come back here, this one here, this angle is 8.5 degrees to get that. So there's a lot of contact. It's real solid. So I want to show you what I did. The front of this, I put some big, heavy galvanized. Not that the galvanized matters, but they just happen to be. In fact, here's the bucket of nails right here. They're probably about 3.5 inches long, if not 3 3/4. But let me show you what I did. So the front of it here has 2 nails embedded over halfway into the end of the board, and they go into the bottom 2 door hinge bolt holes, the threaded holes. There's a plate that moves around in there, so it doesn't have to be Swiss watch specifications. Back here, and I trimmed it down once I figured out my angles to where it wedges pretty good in here. So look what I did here. So I'm going to pull this back up right now. This comes out here. Okay, let me show you the front. See what I've got going here. Get out of my own shadow. So this right here will hold it from falling out. Set this here. Nothing on the back. It's just matches the angle. On, like I said, on the back of this, it's 8.5 degrees off. Same thing. This one here actually has 2 bigger ones, but I measured all this out, and I ended up having to round these corners right here, the inboard upper and lower corners, to kind of clear this beveled area here. But this just fits in here like this with a little bit of wiggling, so it sits in there real nice and flat up against there. And then the idea with this right here is that you see these 2 holes right here. Once I put it back together, just as an extra measure, I'm going to put the board back in place, and I'm going to put a couple screws that'll go at least about 1 inch into the 2x4. And then, of course, I will cinch this down. Everything will be rock solid, and I'm going to lift the car from the inside with an engine hoist cherry picker underneath that horizontal brace right there. It's pretty strong. There's not a hell of a lot of weight here. And up front, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but basically then I'll have another video to follow up, show you the rack system that I'm building to set it on, to where I'll actually be able to roll the pan out with the tires on it and everything. I've actually done one before. When I did the 58 Beetle, I actually took at least the rear, I took it down and rolled it on the drums on some 2x8s, so I didn't have to get the body so high. But in this case, because I'm going to end up having to pull this body back off when I get to it to resurrect the lower part of the body shell itself, and then do the pan right. Right now, I just want to put this project under a tarp and forget about it. Same thing with the other convertible. So that's that for now.